Treatments with the ambition to forge permanent relations with clientele. We specialize in on-site massage, a type of treatment that has been specifically designed to complement the convenience and availability of massage at work. It is performed with the use of a specialist mobile chair, without the use of oils or the need to remove clothing. At Massage and Glow, we believe that massage should be a part of your everyday lifestyle. Regular massage not only relieves stress and tension, but also stimulates blood circulation, can help with pain management, and promotes good mental health. A must for your busy schedule. Various holistic therapies available. Contact us now on 07530 905 152 for your mobile massage therapist.
All social media platforms, Jambo Radio.
Hello and welcome to TouchPoint with Tayo on Jambo Radio, Scotland. And this is the show where everything matters. I am your host, Tayo Oweye. And on TouchPoint, we engage African realities. We explore vital issues that concerns Africans in diaspora and Africa itself, and we educate minds and we touch on trendy ages. Today on TouchPoint with Tayo, we are still on the new horizons and we are talking about career change. Today we're talking about career growth, and we are also touching points on work-study balance, and from a graduate perspective. Quite a number of students are resuming right now in the UK, in the US, and some also in Africa. But how do they balance the work study? What are they supposed to be doing in terms of their career? And things are changing all over the world right now. Their career change, career growth, and so we want to have this perspective, this lens from a graduate lens today, and I have just the right guest for this episode today, and is joining us live from England. He is a lawyer and a corporate governance professional. His name is Toluwani Jiboye, Esquire. Hello Tolu, how are you doing? Okay, is that audio good? How are you doing? Can I hear you? Oh, I still can hear him. Okay. So the audio I'm sure would be back soon. But you're welcome to TouchPoint with Tayo today. As we do it, you can join our conversation today on Jambo Radio Scotland on every of our social media handles. You can watch live as you're watching live right now on our YouTube platform at Jambo Radio Scotland. The same handle on Facebook, Jambo Radio Scotland, also on Twitter, which is X at jamboradio.scot, and on Instagram at jamboradio.scotland. And you can also email us info@jamboradio.co.uk. Send us your comments, send your questions. We'd like to hear from you and your contributions on this topic: new horizons, career change, growth, and work study journeys from a graduate's perspective. So Tolu, how are you doing? Okay, wonderful. I can't still hear him. I can see him though. Okay. Okay, so let me just ask Tolu. Hopefully his audio will be coming up right now. And Tolu, if you can.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Is there any voice from him?
Can you hear me now?
Okay, I think I can hear you now.
Yeah, you can hear me now.
Oh, yes. Wonderful. I can hear you now. Yes. Okay. If you can make it much more louder, that will be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so can you hear me properly now?
Yes, I can. I can hear you now. Yes. Thank you so much. So, let's go right into our discussion for today. Usually I ask my guests this, that if you imagine your life were to be a road trip journey, and what would be the most memorable stop along the way, and what song would you be playing in the background? I know you are someone that loves music a lot, so
Yeah, so I think for the song aspect of it, I would say it's a Yoruba song
Okay.
from West Africa, Nigeria. And the song goes in Yoruba, Aimo Asiko, Londa Mweda, Oromi, Owo Oluwalowa. And what that means is the ignorance of God's timing to man is what gives man problems or issues.
So it means that to be ignorance itself is a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay.
So I'm like, sometimes you might think you are going a certain path and it's slow for you, but sometimes God's timing is different for you. He knows what he wants to do for you. So that's my motto. That's my thing I believe in life. God's timing is the perfect timing for me.
Okay, wonderful. So talking about God's timing and the issue that we are talking about today, there was a time, in the 6 months to January 2024, we had a statistics that says a fifth, 19% of employees switched jobs in the UK, and 27% of workers in the UK plan to change jobs within the next 6 months. While, comparing even the gender lines, 23% of men making the move, 20% of men make the move compared to just 16% of women. What is your take on this aspect of career change, people switching jobs?
I'll be sincere. I think the whole world is seeing like a very significant change since the time of COVID-19, and there's been a significant change because of the changing dynamics of how the world is running. And I'll say that it's true when I'm not sure how certain the statistics is, but from people that I know, from what I see on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and all social media handles, there's a very big increase in the number of people changing careers, changing jobs, changing organizations. And I think there are like different factors that I think are causing this. And I think I would say one of the factors is financial stability for people. So that's the world is inflation rate is going crazy in the world. Economies of countries are going down, so everybody's out there to get the money. And the best way out for a lot of people is just to go get somewhere that will pay them better than what they are earning currently. And as somebody's leaving an organization, somebody else is going to take up that space because your salary that you're earning here is lesser than what somebody's earning somewhere. So I think that's one factor. Another factor is the workplace culture. COVID-19 has turned a lot of things around, the work from home culture, the hybrid mode of working. So a lot of people want to like get that work from home experience where you can be at the front of your TV, in your room, in your workstation at home, doing your work and then having not to travel to work or go to work. So I think that's another factor that's affected the change in job and career. And then for other people also, career progression. A lot of people who want that very fast progression in career. Like I said the other time, I'm a Sikolunda Mweda or so some people just want that very fast change in career, just want to go get up. It's not bad. It's not bad to be ambitious, but that's like some of the factors that are also impacting the way people are resigning from work. And when it comes to the gender disparity between the both of them, where men do it more, I think one factor also that affects female gender from not really changing is because of the caring responsibilities, I'll say. A lot of women have that responsibility to like care for the children, they get pregnant, then they have to take care of the family. So it's sometimes not easy for them to like just switch careers like it is for men to switch. So I think there are like a whole lot of factors that are affecting the change. And then there's that Gen Z culture, I would say, where once there's like that toxic workspace or like any little stress from any workspace, people are out of the office. So I think there are a whole lot of factors that are making this happen. It's somehow good for people that are switching, but on the other end, on organizations also, they are having to recruit again, spending money to recruit, having to retrain new staff, and I'd say it's a pity, but that's the reality that we are now in the world.
Well, yeah, thank you so much. You've actually, I mean, pointed out so many factors that had been like the root cause of all of this career change and every other thing that causes all of these changes. But if I'll go on a personal note, I mean, you had your graduate experience here in the UK, and you studied law back in Africa.
Yeah.
And what made you have more like a what turning points? What were that turning points in your life that you just said you wanted to change? How did you identify the new path for you? I mean, someone is out there and saying, oh, I want to have a new experience. I mean, I've been doing law, but I want something else. Is it that was not available in Africa and you decided to just to have it around in the UK?
This question, like, if you notice, I was smiling when you asked me the question. Like, it's a question that I've heard a whole lot of times, and I have to like start explaining. But so the truth for me is, I won't say it was a drastic change per se. So I'm a corporate governance officer now, and let me just break it down what a corporate governance officer is first. So some people call it a company secretary, while some call it corporate governance. And what do? We are like the life of the board of organization. Work with the board organization, advice on compliance, on risk, we advise on a whole lot of things. We work with information governance team in organizations, which we could call like data protection issues. We administer meetings, the annual general meetings, and several committee meetings. There are a whole lot of things we do. So I'll say that this has been like a passion for me for years before now, which was one of the things that made me to actually even study law at first. Because in the UK, where I am now, there's a difference kind of where you don't need to be a lawyer to be a corporate governance officer or a company secretary. However, in Africa and Nigeria, where I come from, to be a company secretary, you are either an accountant or a lawyer. So I decided to say, oh yeah, I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to make impact in my society. I wanted to make good money. So
for yourself.
That's why I decided to study law. So, luckily for me, I found love with corporate law in my final year in uni. I was president of organizations in uni, and then one person that struck me so much happened to be a company secretary then in one of the top organizations in Nigeria. So I took her as a mentor, was working with her, seeing how things went. I interned with her. So I did that. That was my first ever internship ever in my life. And it was luckily for me, it was in an organization where I was able to work with the company secretarial team. So after that, I went to the law school, and then I, after my law school, it was time for me to do my NYC, the National Youth Service Corps, where we serve Nigeria, and then I decided to go into litigation, which is going to court. So I did litigation for 1 year. Had a good time there, having to dress in the robe as a lawyer, beautiful memory, going to court, representing clients, talking in front of the justices and judges of the court. So I now found out that even whilst working as a corporate, as a litigation lawyer, I was still tilted to that corporate side of it. I enjoyed reading about companies, reading about mergers and acquisitions, reading about takeovers of banks, takeovers of organizations and all. These are the things that are inside the corporate governance. So I then decided and said, okay, I think it's time for me to go for my master's abroad. And then I had a different things like, oh, should I do my master's in international law? Should I do it in commercial law? Should I do it in corporate governance? I even thought, because of the prospect of a career, I even sometimes thought about doing my master's in social work. So it wasn't just going to do law or corporate governance alone. Yes, I wanted to have a master's, but I needed to do something that I'll be able to like get a job, be able to like make ends meet.
Yeah. So
those were the things for myself. Okay. So I had to look at all these things. So when I did my research about corporate governance, I found out that corporate governance, you don't need to be a lawyer, all you just need to do is be professionally qualified, have experience with corporate governance, which I had. Like I said, I had in Nigeria. When I finished my NYC, I moved into an organization where I worked as a governance company secretary and a compliance officer. So I was able to do that for like a year before leaving Nigeria. When I got here, luckily for me, I did my research. My university where I did my master's, Leeds University, was also offering a professional qualification, which is the Chartered Governance Institute qualification here in the UK, which is like a professional body for corporate governance officers. So once you get your master's, you also get that alongside. So when I got here, I would say I had a good time studying corporate governance, seeing it in the theoretical aspect, and doing that. So I say that was like that was my like quick journey from that to that. Like I said, a whole lot of things influenced my decision.
So I picked up some things from what you've said. I mean, such as the people that you met along the way, your mentors, and every other thing. Were there any challenges that you think graduates face during their career change? And if you can touch point on what were the fears and doubts that you had to overcome.
So I'll say challenges for me. I think some of the challenges for me were not even while trying to like switch the career. Was when I was done, like in the process of picking the career and then having to, like, for example, job market. I think that's like one of the biggest challenges for like anybody, no matter the age, the experience. I think before then it was having to even decide on what master I was doing. Like I said, I was thinking of, should I do social work? Should I do my master's in international law, my LLM, or should I do corporate governance? And this was like going on for like months, having to decide on what I was going to do in my master's. And funny enough, I got admission for every single thing I mentioned.
Wow.
Because one thing I always do in my life as a person, I don't just put my egg in one basket. I make sure like I spread my things out around to be able to, what if this doesn't work? This might work out.
You are casting your nets into the waters.
Yeah.
So anything that comes up, you now start sorting them out.
Like, I had my target, I had my goal, which is very important. You have to have your target and your goal, even if you find others. But I was like, if it doesn't work, something else will work out for me. So I think that was one challenge, in a choice or deciding a choice. Then getting admission is also another challenge.
Wait, let me ask this. Wouldn't you say that is like gambling? Or what?
No, I wouldn't say it's gambling.
Okay.
Because gambling to me is taking a risk that you have. It's like taking a risk that you do not know what the end goal is. So I already knew my end goal. I already knew that even if I don't get corporate governance, I'm going to get LLM in law.
Definitely.
And they all have prospects, even though the time that you could use to achieve these goals could differ. For example, a social work master's now will take 2 years. A corporate governance master's takes 1 year.
Yeah.
And a LLM will take 1 year. But to practice as a lawyer, like if you want to practice as a lawyer to be called to the bar here, you have to go write another exam again. So like there were different factors to factor in, but like this is my passion, this is what I want. And I did corporate. So I think the challenge that I wouldn't say I had a lot of challenge, but I think maybe for other people, might not be me, maybe financial challenges of having to pay school fees for the masters, having to travel, even when you get here. So another big challenge here, which I don't know if we'll touch down.
We'll talk about that. We'll touch point on that. But what are the other, before we go for break, what are the other resources aside from, you've mentioned mentors, what are the other specific resources or experiences that significantly influenced your journey aside from the mentors?
Resources, I think passion first.
Okay.
Passion was like the major drive for me. I remember growing up, I tell people this story. I remember growing up one time, I was in the car with my dad, and we were driving past the bank, and then I know like there's money in the bank, and I remember asking my dad then that, oh, I want to work in the bank, and he's like, oh, to work in the bank as a lawyer, maybe you be a company secretary. So like then, it's now that I remember that this conversation happened.
That was the seed.
At the back of my mind, there has been that passion to be like, oh, I want to be a company secretary. I want to sit in the boardroom and make decisions. I know what's happening. Because as a company secretary of any organization, you are like the engine, the motherboard of a computer system. That's why even if they sack a board of an organization, they wouldn't sack the company secretary because you have like an idea about every single thing. So this has been my passion. Like I want to sit in that top. And then I'm somebody that has a passion for being part of an organizational structure where I can make great impact and provide excellence. And I think one of the easiest ways to do that in career path is being a company secretary. So that was where I said, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to be, this is where I want to find myself. So I think that was like the major drive for me. And then I would say the good pay also. That's
the
like
good pay.
Financial benefit, like good pay, good money, and then I wouldn't need to write another exam again to be qualified as this because I've had the experience, I have my master's, I have my professional. So I think that's why like things that like drove me to like.
So okay, so we have quite a number of things to still discuss, but at this moment, we'll go for a short break, and when we're back from the break, we'll talk about the WorkStudy experience. We'll talk about the skills that are actually needed, and how did you even maneuver that WorkStudy period that you are able to at least still stand now, and you're still smiling, and it's all good news at the end of the day. After this break, we'll continue with the discussion. Thank you for staying tuned. I'm still with my guest, Toluwani Jiboye, a lawyer and corporate governance professional, joining me live from Leeds, England. in Jambo Radio Scotland here in the city of Glasgow. And I mean, you can send in your comments, send your questions, and as the conversation rolls on, we'll be able to bring them up. And there's been quite a number of comments up here for us. I mean, insightful presentation and all sorts. And Tolu, let's quickly delve into the issue of this career growth and personal development. If you would define career growth, what will it be, and how would you define also success as from a graduate perspective?
All right, so I think I'll say career growth is, for me, career growth I would say is when you are, in layman terms, I'll say when you are able to make impact in what you are doing. So what I mean is, so career growth is where, for example, as a corporate governance officer now, yes, I have the job. The goal is to become a company secretary, or become a governance manager, or become a senior in my career. But before I can say I become this, I have to show capacity. I have to show excellence. I have to show that I am worthy of taking up this role. So I think career growth for me is when you are able to show capacity, when you are able to make impact in the organization where you are working, and then you are then rewarded for it. That's where the growth shows. But before that growth comes into fruition, there has to be you showing capacity, you showing that yes, this is what I'm adding to the organization. Okay. Yes, you could act poorly in your organization, then go somewhere else and become a more senior person than what you were because of you have the experience on your seat. But the true sense to yourself, you ask yourself, are you actually growing?
Yeah.
Are you actually adding any value to yourself? Are you adding any value to your organization?
Yeah. Okay. What would you say about career success? What would you define career success to be like? Someone is out there.
Success, I think career success is subjective.
Okay.
Career success to me is becoming a company secretary of a multinational. Career success to somebody else could be just getting a job in the United Kingdom as a corporate governance officer.
Or traveling to United Kingdom.
Or traveling to United Kingdom and then having a very successful business in selling clothes or selling shoes, or being an entrepreneur basically. So I think it's subjective. What some people, getting a job is not success to them. To them it's a process, it's a stage. So I think, don't let me go too deep, but career success is basically achieving that which you desire, that your set goal in anything you want to do. So I think that's career success.
Yeah. So if you look at, I mean, from your own perspective, you had said the world is changing. What are the skills that you think graduates should prioritize right now in the period of career change?
Right. Is it just skills, or like basically anything that people should prioritize?
Skills. Okay, probably skills, competencies that they need.
One skill that is very important that a lot of people don't put into consideration is that great communication skill. That's like one of the major things in my career, in my relationship, in my previous role as a lawyer, as a corporate governance officer now. I think communication is like very, very, very key and important. And
but wait,
is not just...
but wait, we have more people talking now, but they're not communicating.
You can be blabbing and be saying yada. That's communication, but I don't understand what you're saying.
That's okay. That's talking, but that's not communication.
Yeah, so
people are just talking.
When you are saying something and the other person understands what you are saying, it could be through science, it could be through writing. That's what the body good at. Communication is not all about oral. there's also the written aspect of it, having to like be able to write proper reports, writing proper letters, writing proper advisory and everything. For example, when you're applying for a job and then you're asked for a supporting statement and your cover letter, they want to know you. Yes, they've not met you physically, but they want to see you in writing. You are communicating who you are in writing.
Yeah.
So that's communication. So that's why I say communication skill is very important from your university, your graduate level, to even before you get the job and getting the job. Because now, yes, you got, for example, people use AI to write things and everything. Then you use your AI to write your CV, to write your cover letter, then you are at the interview stage. And then they ask you, tell us about yourself, tell us about your experience, tell us about this tool you used to work, and you can't say. So that's why both written and oral communication are very key. And then talking in very clear and concise terms, not just trying to use big words because you want to like impress. Nobody has time for Ugwadigu English. Like, just give clear, simple terms. That's what people want to hear from you. And then I think another thing is having that interpersonal relationship. For example, in the UK, it's very, very key and important when you have a very good relationship with your colleague and have that interpersonal relationship with senior colleagues also, because you would meet with people, you relate with people. You could be in the kitchenette or in during break, and then somebody comes, you don't even know who they are, and then you try to like talk to the person. You should have that interpersonal relationship and like relate well with people, because you don't know who would be your help later. I think another thing is that research skill and continuous study. Unlike where I'm coming from, that there's like this belief that once you know something, that's what you should stick with. Over here, the world is evolving, things are changing, there are new policies, there are new laws, there are new regulations. You need to keep yourself abreast of these things, and researching is very important, not just opening books. You need to know what is important to you. You need to study and read and research, and I think that's another part. And another thing is compassion.
Okay.
It might not be like, people might not take that into consideration, but in the UK, compassion and care is very, very key and important to people here. How you treat people, how you relate with people. These are the things they see during your interview, the way you talk to them, the way you approach them. These are the things that tells you. It's not just about, oh, I know how to write the best English, say the best word.
It's not whether you are just intelligent only.
Your CV might be the biggest, it might be 3 pages, 4 pages, you might have the best degree. But they want to see how you can like show compassion and show, I want to say mercy, but you can show compassion and show that care to people. And then one other last thing before I go, confidentiality. Confidentiality is very key and very important.
How is that important?
So now, confidentiality goes in different ways. In the legal way, we say there's something we call data protection.
Yeah.
In my workplace, we call it information governance, where you have to like be very confidential with the information that you have, because you are handling information of people, of organizations that could make or mar your organization. For example, let's say you work with the hospital and you're a medical doctor, and then you have access to several information every day. And because you have these gist in codes, you go around spreading these things. They could sue your organization and sue you. You lose your license, you lose your job, and then your organization gets into debt. Or you have an idea, you have an information about a stock or a shares, and then you are going out to like tell your family members, oh, this.
Don't buy it.
Buy it, or like it could be advantageous to you, but at the end of the day, it could mar your organization, it could affect your organization. So confidentiality is very key and important to people.
Thank you so much for that. I mean, but I also want to, because you made mention about AI earlier on, I want to know your view about AI and how one should use it, because it's so rampant right now that people are using the AI, even in terms of students doing their assessments and everything. they're probably not using it ethically. So, but as a lawyer and a corporate governance professional, how do you think AI should be used? Someone is out there saying, "Oh, maybe it's something easy. I can just type whatever assessment I need to do now." And imagine you have close to 100 students that you need to grade, and you're doing it as like we used to do it back in some countries in Africa. It's not through Turnitin, it's not through anything. You just submit paper like that, and you see this beautiful written assessment. What is your point? How do you think we should use AI ethically?
I think from the answer is already in the question is using AI ethically. I think that's what I'll say the answer is. And what do I mean is, like there has been Google over the years. Now there's ChatGPT and a whole lot of AIs, which is not bad to use. These things are made for a purpose.
Yeah.
And it's to help us to be able to get things done easily and better than we would do.
Yes.
For example, over the years, people had always used Google to look for things. And then you search on Google, there's always a paper on, there's Google Scholar, there's Google everything. You search online for everything, and then you're able to find things. And then you have to collate yourself and be able to bring out your point. But now, AI has made things easy. All you just need to do is just check some of these AI tools and then get things done. But at the same time, when you are a scholar or you're working in an organization, one thing you should understand is there's what's called plagiarism.
Yeah.
And these are people's material, these are people's intellectual property. And you can't just go online and just pick things and use it for yourself. At the same time, AI also makes mistakes.
Yeah.
You go online, the same thing, AI is not human, they are programmed. So you go online, try to look for something. The next person also go online, try to look for something that you're also looking for. AI gives both of you the same answer.
Yeah.
So now it's for you to use it and also scrutinize and be able to work with it, and also like people say, give it the right commands to use, be able to you have to understand what you're using.
What you're using it for.
You have to understand what you're using. You're not just going to go and ask AI, what is this? You have to turn this thing, this is what I want, this is how I want it. But you have to also put your idea into it.
Yeah.
And then when it gives you something back, you're not just pouring it out to somebody else.
To someone else.
You also have to read for errors, read for mistakes, read for. So AI is good, it's helping the world, but you have to use it ethically and use it in the best common sense, ethical way possible.
Thank you for that. Let's quickly touch, because our time is also running fast. WorkStudy experience. You just concluded your postgraduate studies. You're working as a professional. How did you balance the work, academics, responsibility, and your personal life during the studies? Just briefly, how did you balance it? And what tools can you share? Someone is out there, I really want to use the tools that Tolu used. He finished his studies and is now a professional. What are the tools that made this whole career change and growth, should I say, smooth?
Alright. So my journey through my postgraduate degree and my working, because you have to work to make money, to pay bills, to go around, to visit restaurants, which I love to do so much, buy clothes, visit places, travel. So I think for me, first was having to have a set goal of what I wanted, plan myself. And I'll say, for example, you're asking of tools. I think now there are a whole lot of things to be able to plan yourself. Your phone has a to-do list that you can do. Your phone has a not disturb thing that you could just put like, oh, now I
To
want to do my
to read.
assignment, and then I don't want anybody to disturb me. There are many applications that you can put that would lock you out of your phone, of your laptop, of your and then you yourself, you are the greatest tool.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that I paid several thousands of pounds to come for my master's, I can't afford to fail. I know where
That
I'm
money,
going to.
that money
Yeah,
should not go down the drain.
yeah, I know where I'm going to. I came here for it. And I think having that constant reminder of the end goal, the purpose of coming for the master's is to be able to advance my career, advance my knowledge, and be able to fend for myself financially. So all these things were like reminders of like, oh yes, this is what you were meant to do. This is how you're meant to do. So even when I had to work, go to work. So because of being a student, we were limited to 20 hours, which
Yeah,
I think is, in one way, it was good for us.
yeah.
In another way, we didn't like it because we couldn't make a whole lot. But in the other way, it was good for us because we were able to focus on our
Oh,
academics.
yes,
So you work just 3 times in a week and then go to school. And that 3 times is maybe you work 8 hours in the morning, 8 hours in the afternoon, 16, and then maybe 4 hours the third day. So that
yeah.
makes it 20 hours. So you have time to work.
Depending on how you want to
How you plan
use your
yourself.
hours, some may
Yeah.
use 6 hours
And then
and stuff like that.
yeah, and then there was the weekend also to like do your assessment. There were the libraries. The libraries here are like well equipped. There's internet access. There's access to computers and laptops. So I think it was very, I wouldn't say easy because when the assignment came, where you had to rack your brain, you had to do it from your head. Because my master's, for example, was I had to do the calculations, accounting, which I never liked. But I got here and then I found out I had to do accounting. So I had to know what I was doing. I had
Doing.
to study it. I had to learn it. I had to read about it. I had to read because I had to even have like a discussion group with friends and say, okay, I've not done this before. And then one thing I also did was having a relationship with my lecturers.
Yeah.
Where when you don't, one thing about here is when you have enough, when you don't have so much knowledge about this, these people are ready to like teach you, help you, and feed you like, oh, this is how it should be done.
Okay, so your lecturers
So
are willing to make
yeah, they're
themselves
willing to
available
support
to
you.
support you.
Yeah, yeah. So I think the country over here has made it kind of easy for you to be able to like have that work study balance.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
So
that's work study, but there was the fun aspect of it too. I liked traveling, going to restaurants, visiting friends. I love
yeah,
sleeping too. So all these were things that I had to like work on.
balance.
Uh,
So if you look back, just briefly, if you look back, is there anything that you will have done differently to manage time and energy better? I know you've managed it, but is there anything you'll have done differently to manage your time and your energy better?
okay, is it regarding my
Your work
academics or like
study,
in general?
general, I mean, even in terms of while you were studying, how look back now, and is there anything you like tweaked and say, oh yes, I think I will have changed some things about this so that my time can be well managed, then my energy can also be better managed.
Okay, I think one thing I would say that maybe I would have done better was maybe I'll say that yeah, I had a balance in my time with work and with study, but the extracurricular part, I think I had like a whole lot of focus on it. But I was just coming from Africa, coming from Nigeria. I got here. I wanted to like visit a whole lot of places, see attractions and all, forgetting that there was still time for that.
Mm,
If I maybe I would have invested more time in doing my dissertation and my assignment and my
yeah.
assessment. Yes, I came out with a good result, but maybe I'd have gotten better. Maybe I'd have
Yeah.
been better in my class if I focused more on that. So all those times I was having to like travel, go to places, um, do a whole lot of extracurricular activities. So I think maybe I would have understood that there's time for everything more. Maybe I would have placed more focus on like, oh, my academics now is paramount. That's what I'm meant to do right now.
So we are coming back to your song. I am Masikolo. Ignorance.
I'll say now, for example, now I've been working for like 8 months or so, or 7 months, and I'll say that the number of times I've gone out is not up to what I was going out when I was a student. I was like, when I even finish school now, I'll start going out more. But now, like, I'll have to work 9 to 5 every single day. The only days I have off are Saturday, Sunday, and then I just want to rest. I just want to sleep on my bed.
Yeah.
Or like just stay indoors. So I think there's time for everything. I think that's one thing that we need to like constantly remind ourselves. And it's not just about graduate school also, even undergraduate, even in career path also. There's time for everything. You should need to focus more on that which you think is priority now. That's why there should be a scale of preference for, I think in economics also there's a scale of preference where
the scale of preference.
And then you choose what is priority now. Like there's what you want, there's what you need.
Yeah.
But let what you actually need be that priority. Yes, there's what you want. You want to do this, you want to do that. But those ones might actually become a need later. But for now, focus on your needs, what you need at the moment. And I think that's one thing that I've been prioritizing even in my career now as a corporate governance officer. I prioritize things now in order of preference and in order of importance.
Okay, so in terms of just a minute each for these questions before we wrap up, how do you think graduates can build a career path that allows them flexibility and growth? Just a minute.
That's hard because I'd say it depends on the career for me. I always like to use doctors as an example. For a medical doctor now, 1 year full-time practice, I think you go to work whilst in training, for example, you have to go to work like almost every day. You walk around, you do everything, and then when you get back home, you just have to rest. So I think it depends on the kind of career path that you are in. Flexibility, I would say, is like really hard to like delve into or talk about. Like me now, I'm kind of flexible. Why? Because I work remotely.
Okay.
I go to the office like say once in a month.
Okay.
And I'm able to like study because I've got a professional organization. I've got different professional articles that are being released, and I have like not every time I'm like stuck in front of my computer. I have break time. I have time for annual leave also, which is very important that people need to like take very seriously.
Yeah.
Take your annual leave seriously. It really helps you. Those are like the flexible times, flexibility areas of your work. That annual leave thing, because in some places, in some countries, I don't even think there's anything annual leave in their contract. But over here, annual leave is very important. Even if you don't take it, your colleagues or your offices will tell you that you must take it. So I think
I know about that. But I think everywhere there are annual leave, except that the rules that guides them may be different one way or the other. Some may collapse the annual leave and say, oh, you can roll it over. But unlike here, where there is that tax year and you have to use your annual leave within that period, and there is a particular number in which you can carry over onto the next period. So I want to say I echo that particular aspect, because if you are coming from our own kind of area in Africa where you can collapse leave, especially if you are from the academia, so I mean you are told to just take your leave, because they'll be saying that they don't want the school management to call them that they notice someone has not taken his leave. He has so many number of days. Are you giving him more work to do, or you are not the one releasing him to go for his leave? So there is that aspect of you getting your leave at the appropriate time and using it effectively. Make sure you rest, because when you're back at work, you're back at work.
I remember when I started work here, and I because of that mentality of like, oh, even at 1 a.m. in my previous role, I was like working even at 1 a.m. sometimes. And then I think I just picked up my laptop. I was bored. I picked up my laptop around 9 p.m. And then I replied an email. The next morning, my director calls me to say, why was I online at that time of the night working? That there's no need to rush myself. That there's a reason why the contract says 9 to 5. So do not work outside your work hours, because at the end of the day, it affects your health, it affects your
Wow.
a whole lot of things. So I think that's one area of flexibility that the work here gives to you. Having to like be able to, like, your time is your time. And then also I think one other thing is having to like make good use of those times. Maybe take professional courses that will help you advance your career. And I'm really happy that now in this generation, a lot of people are taking these courses, project management, data analysis.
Okay. In terms of time, eyes are on me. So just the parting shot, because I know we've not dealt with some things here on the show today. Tolu speaks. What will you say today, from your own perspective, that audience can hold on to?
I think from my theme of what I believe today, first, like in the beginning I said, I'm Masiko Londa Mweda.
That's one.
You just need to be patient with yourself.
Okay, that's one.
And then also you need to be able to prioritize things.
Okay.
And then pay much attention to what you are doing at the moment. Don't put yourself into a lot of things too much and be overwhelmed.
Wow.
Focus on one thing. Do it well.
Okay.
And when you do it well, you will get reward for that. Not just put yourself into a lot of things and then getting things in a messy way. So
thank you, Tolu. Focus on one thing. Don't dissipate yourself. Take your time. Don't be ignorant of time. And make sure that you know what you are doing. And that's it for our show for today on TouchPoint with Tayo. Thank you for joining every weekend. I want to thank Toluwani for coming on the show today. Thank you so much, and I hope we will have you again some other time. Thank you to the TouchPoint team and production crew. Thank you, the backroom team, and my audience. Thank you so much. That's it for this week, and remember that life's journey unfolds uniquely. Run your race to attract grace, for it is only within the race that grace finds itself. I've been your host, Tayo Oweye. Have a good night rest.